right now, someone in your life is lying to you, and here's the disturbing part. You already know who it is, not consciously, not in a way you could explain to someone over coffee, but your body has been picking up on it for months. That tightness in your chest when they talk, the way your stomach drops when they make a promise, the subtle urge to step back when they lean in, those aren't random feelings. Those are signals. Your nervous system is a lie detector that's been running since the day you were born. It reads micro-expressions your conscious mind can't even see, tracks vocal patterns, posture shifts, and eye movements at a speed no thought could match. The problem isn't that you can't detect deception. The problem is that you've been trained to ignore what your body is telling you. Put this on while you drive, while you lie awake tonight, because once you learn these 8 signs, you'll never look at a conversation the same way again. Let's start with the one that hides in plain sight. Here's the first sign your body catches before your mind does. It's the smile, not the mouth, the eyes. A genuine smile, what psychologists call a Duchenne smile, activates the orbicularis oculi muscle. That's the muscle that creates crow's feet, wrinkles at the corners of the eyes. It's involuntary, cannot fake it on command. When someone smiles at you and the mouth moves, but the eyes stay flat, your amygdala registers a mismatch. Threat signal fires before you can even form the thought. Something feels off. This is why you sometimes feel uneasy around someone who's being perfectly pleasant. Their face is technically smiling, but the geometry is wrong. The timing is wrong. A real smile appears gradually and fades gradually. A fabricated smile appears all at once, like a mask snapping into place, and disappears just as fast. Next time someone smiles at you and you feel a flicker of doubt, don't dismiss it. Your body noticed something your eyes missed. The smile moved, the eyes stayed dead. And that distinction is the difference between warmth and performance. Here's something even more unsettling. People who use fabricated smiles frequently often don't realize they're doing it. It becomes automatic, a social mask they've worn so long it feels like their real face. They're not necessarily lying about something specific. They're lying about who they are in the moment. And your body, your ancient, pre-verbal, deeply perceptive body, notices every single time. Pay attention to this one, because it's the tell that almost nobody thinks to watch. Feet, specifically, where they point. Body language researchers call feet the most honest part of the body. The reason is simple. We spend our entire lives learning to control our facial expressions and our hand gestures. We practice what to say and how to say it, but almost no one thinks about their feet. When someone is genuinely engaged with you, their feet point toward you, both of them. When they want to leave, when they're uncomfortable, bored, or hiding something, one foot will angle toward the nearest exit, sometimes both. A person can be looking you in the eye, nodding, asking follow-up questions. Everything above the waist says, "I'm here with you." But if one foot is aimed at the door, their body has already decided to leave. The conversation is a formality. Nervous system checked out 60 seconds ago. This works in job interviews, dates, negotiations, family dinners. Anywhere there's a reason someone might want to hide what they're really thinking. Don't watch their face. Watch the floor. There's a reason police interrogators seat suspects in chairs without desks. They want to see the whole body. Feet are the first thing they check. Because the feet have no social training. They've never been taught to perform. They just respond. I voluntarily, every single time. Next time you're in a conversation that feels off, glance down. Your answer might be sitting right there on the floor. This next one is subtle enough that most people miss it entirely, but once you hear it, you can't unhear it. When someone lies, their vocal pitch shifts, not dramatically, not in a way that sounds like a bad actor in a movie. It rises by roughly 12 to 15 hertz. That's less than a single musical note. Your conscious mind doesn't register the change, but your auditory cortex does, and it sends a signal to your gut that something is wrong. This is why phone conversations can sometimes feel more revealing than face-to-face ones. Without visual information to process, your brain allocates more attention to vocal patterns. You catch things you'd normally miss. Hesitation where there should be fluency. Fluency where there should be hesitation. The rehearsed answer that comes out too smoothly. The casual question that carries a strange weight. Liars also tend to speak slightly faster when delivering the fabricated part of their story. Then they slow down when returning to the truth. It's a pacing shift. Your body reads as friction, like a song that changes key for one bar and then changes back. La. Technically everything continues, but something moved, and the voice always knows first. Think about the last time someone told you something that felt rehearsed. You probably couldn't explain what was wrong with it. The words made sense. The tone seemed appropriate, but there was a texture to it that felt manufactured, like listening to a recording of a conversation rather than the conversation itself. That texture is what your brain detects at 11 million bits per second. It was right. Here's one you can start watching for immediately. When a person is being dishonest, their hands migrate toward their face, touching the nose, the ear, covering the mouth, scratching the neck, just below the jawline. These aren't random fidgets. They're self-soothing behaviors triggered by the autonomic nervous system. When someone lies, their body experiences a spike in cortisol, stress. The brain's immediate response is to seek comfort through physical touch. But since the person can't exactly hug themselves in the middle of a conversation, the hands find the nearest available surface, the face, the neck, collar. FBI interrogators call this cluster behavior. They don't look for a single touch. They look for a cluster. 3 or more face-touching gestures within a 30-second window during a specific topic. That cluster is a flashing red light. It says this topic is causing physiological stress that the body cannot contain. Here's the uncomfortable part. You've probably seen this from someone you trust. All the time, and every time, something in the back of your mind whispered that it felt strange. Just didn't have a name for it. Now you do. The self-soothing reflex is one of the most reliable indicators in behavioral psychology because it's almost impossible to suppress. You can control your words, you can rehearse your expression, but you cannot stop your autonomic nervous system from seeking comfort when it's under threat. The hands will find the face. They always do. This is the one that catches people who think they're good at lying. Ask someone to tell you the same story twice, not the next day, weeks later. A truthful person will tell the story differently each time. They'll remember new details, forget old ones, change the order of events, emphasize something different, depending on their mood. That's what real memory looks like. It's messy, it's insistent. It's alive. A liar will tell the story the same way, word for word, beat for beat, because they didn't experience the event. They memorized a script, and scripts don't evolve, they recite. This is why trained investigators ask suspects to tell their story backward, starting from the end and working to the beginning. A truthful person can do this, clumsily, with pauses, but they can reconstruct it because the memory is spatial. A liar cannot. The script falls apart when you change the direction. Someone in your life tells you the same story with the same details, in the same order, with the same pauses, and the same emotional beats every single time. Pay attention. Your ease bends. Lies are rigid, and rigidity, under pressure, always cracks. There's a simple version of this you can use tonight. Ask someone about something they told you weeks ago. Don't challenge them. Just say, "Tell me about that again." If the story is exactly the same structure, same emphasis, same pauses, that's not memory, it's rehearsal. And rehearsal exists for one reason: to protect the version of events that someone needs you to believe. This is the one that should disturb you the most, because it's happening around you constantly, and you've been taught to ignore it. Incongruence. When someone's words say one thing and their body says another. A person says, "I'm happy for you," while their jaw tightens. Someone says, "Of course, I trust you," while crossing their arms and pulling their shoulders inward. A friend says, "I don't mind at all," while their fingers grip the edge of the table. Your conscious mind hears the words. Your brain processes the language, and because we're raised to prioritize verbal communication, we believe what we hear. But your limbic system, the ancient part of your brain that existed long before language, processes the body, and when the body contradicts the mouth, your limbic system fires a warning. That warning feels like unease, like something is off but you can't explain why, like the room temperature dropped by 1 degree, but nobody else seems to notice. Most people override this signal. They tell themselves they're being paranoid, the kind reading into things. But here's what decades of research confirms. When words and body language conflict, the body is telling the truth every single time. Incongruence isn't a maybe. It's the loudest signal in any room, and the people who learn to read it stop being surprised by betrayal. The next time you're sitting across from someone and you feel that 1 degree temperature drop, don't look for evidence in what they're saying. Get the gap between what they're saying and what their body is doing. That gap is where the truth lives, and always has been. Here's the last one, and it might be the most important thing you hear tonight. That gut feeling you get about people, the one you've been dismissing your entire life. It's not mystical, it's not anxiety, it's not paranoia, it's pattern recognition. Your brain processes approximately 11 million bits of sensory information per second. Your conscious mind can handle about 40. That means 10,999,960 bits of information are being processed below your awareness every second. Your gut feeling is the summary report of that invisible processing. It's your brain saying, I've analyzed the micro expressions, the vocal shifts, the postural changes, the timing inconsistencies, the pupil dilation, and the breathing pattern, and something doesn't add up. When you feel it, you're not making it up. You're receiving intelligence that your conscious mind is too slow to assemble on its own. The next time your gut tells you someone is lying, don't argue with it. Don't rationalize it away. Don't wait for proof your conscious mind can verify. The proof already exists. Your body collected it. You just weren't listening. Every person who's ever been blindsided by a betrayal said the same thing afterward. I had a feeling. They did have a feeling. Their gut collected the evidence. Their body sounded the alarm, and their conscious mind talked them out of it. Don't let your mind overrule your body. It's been protecting you longer than you know. Your body has been reading people your entire life. Every handshake, every conversation, every silence that lasted a beat too long. It caught things you never consciously registered. Now that you know what to look for, something changes, not just in how you see others, but in how much you trust yourself. You're not watching this because you're paranoid. You're watching this because some part of you already knew, and that part has been waiting for you to finally listen. If one of these 8 signs made you think of a specific person, drop which number it was. Your gut already has an answer, and if you need to hear this again, it'll be right here.